lots of reasons why a person might want to work on better posture. My primary reason for helping my students work on better posture is because I would like them to experience better breathing. When we don't have really good posture, we're really crunching all of this lung and diaphragm area. The reason I'd like you all to have better breathing is because better breathing can help you in a multitude of ways, but I'm always thinking about ways to calm down. And I teach lots of breathing techniques. And so being able to get the best posture possible for your body will hopefully help you breathe better, and then practice some certain breathing techniques that can calm you down when you're having one of those moments. So I wanted to demonstrate just a few nuances in terms of how to sit with better posture. You could call this a seated mountain pose. So what you'd like to have is first your feet grounded. So down, touching the ground, all the parts of the feet. If you can see here, my feet are not completely touching the ground. The fronts of my feet are, but my heels are not. So there's a couple of things I can do. I can bring a couple of blankets, I can bring a book, really anything that is sturdy and that can support your feet. So this usually takes a little bit of practice, only because you want to get just the right height, because you also don't want to be crunched up. You bring your feet up so high that you're crunched up. So this is my first time experimenting with this here. So this feels pretty good. Maybe it's a little high. Ideally, we like to have our knees level with our hips, or even the knees a little bit lower. So I'm actually going to take one blanket off and see if that's enough. That feels pretty good. So I have pretty good posture here in terms of being able to ground down through my feet. And then of course we want to work our way up, trying to elongate. So while we're pressing down through our feet, we're also growing tall through the crown of our heads. So that's one thing to do if you find that your feet are swinging or aren't quite completely touching the ground. Sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where your feet are higher and you're feeling a little crunched up. So that, of course, isn't maybe the ideal position to be in for better breathing. So in that case, you can grab your blankets again, or books, or whatever you might have, and you would want to prop up your seat. Now this we have to use our imagination, because this is not my situation in this chair. But what you could do is sit on something more towards the edge of that something. Otherwise, you're just lifting everything up higher. So kind of scoot a little bit. You don't want to be wobbly, so you might have to experiment with what you use. And actually, this doesn't feel too bad. Even for my situation, my feet are grounded and I'm feeling lots of space here. So those are just a couple of things I'd like you to think about the next time you're practicing with me, or sitting and maybe trying to breathe and calm down from something that's been stressful, is to really notice if your feet are grounded, and if not, slide something underneath. If you feel like you're sitting on something and you're more in this kind of position where your knees are higher than your hips, sit on something folded. That's going to allow your hips to raise up so that maybe your knees are a little bit lower. I hope this helps you in your quest for good posture for better breathing.